Everybody, Moo here. Up next is going to be Brave Goofy SL6. 5 to 4 in the coin booster are enabled for him as well. And, hold tight. I got some bad news. Well, basically, he doesn't get that much better coming up from SL3 to SL6. Every premise, every assumption I made about him at SL3 turned out to be wrong. That's right. I will admit it. I was completely wrong about what would happen once we got him to SL6. Now, my initial assumption was, when we get him to SL6, the smaller explosions, the first phase of his ability, if you will, are going to be able to hit in that 9 to 16 sweet spot range that would generate time bubbles without you having to do much, without having to try to generate them. However, that did not happen. Those primarily hit for about 7, which means even if you were to use the bubble booster item, which I was making an assumption that if we did this, we might be able to force the skill to give us time bubbles. Well, it only counts for an equivalent of 8, which means it's still not enough to give you time bubbles. However, because most of those small explosions hit for 7, what does that mean? It means they generate blank bubbles. And why is that a bad thing? Because the primary portion of his ability comes at the end of the animation. So even though his center clear is actually on par with Mickey's, so it should, in theory, be hitting in the mid to high 30s. It hits in the low 30s because now you have all these blank magic bubbles that prevent it from clearing Tsum. So he essentially screws himself over by making too many blank bubbles, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's completely random. Sometimes when, the small explosions don't hit for that many Tsum, you will actually see that he is capable of clearing in the high 30s. It doesn't happen very often. It's really just, if your phone's slow, it might actually be really good for using Goofy because the Tsum won't refresh fast enough for those explosions to generate bubbles from. So that might actually be a really good Tsum to play on older phones. The other thing that still kind of sucks about him at SL6 is he still charges relatively slowly. And even though you have all these bubbles and all these explosions, it doesn't help him charge faster, which means his Mightsum requirement is still way too high for SL6. And finally, the third thing that I would like to complain about, this one is unconfirmed, so don't take my word for it, but I have a feeling the Mightsum that you hit with his ability did not give you the same amount of charge towards refilling the skill as when you make them manually. So he's kind of like Darth Vader, but not nearly as bad as Darth Vader. Maybe more on par with Jedi Luke, because Jedi Luke doesn't give you 100% of the value either. So that also hurts him, because it takes a lot of Mightsum to charge up, but now the ones that you hit with the skill don't give you full charge either. So you can kind of circumvent this a little bit by overloading the skill manually, the way you would with just about any other Tsum in the game. It's one of those nice techs that you should know about. So just make a super long chain with Goofies and then press the skill right away. And then all the Tsum that, would otherwise have gone to waste are now going to charge up towards the next skill. That's kind of how you overload the skill. So don't save a whole bunch of Goofies hoping that you're going to hit them with the skill and then somehow it will instantly recharge his ability and you can spam it 2 times in a row. You can't do that. So that's the third thing that really kills his ability to push out some nice big coin earnings. That being said, I feel we shouldn't rag on him too much. We should still give him one positive. He's still very satisfying to play because the feeling, the impact of those small explosions and just popping bubbles and just kind of the dynamic gameplay that he offers with his ability is still really fun. He's not going to give you good coin. He's going to give you mediocre score. Well, not mediocre, but, compared to other some relatively mediocre. But still really fun to play. So if you have him and you have a mission that does not require a black Tsum, because apparently he does not count as a black Tsum. I mean, are we looking at the same character model here? He looks black to me, dude. I don't know. But you can still use him, have a blast with him. And if you have any questions or comments, anything like that, I'll leave them all in the comment section below. And as always, thank you so much for your likes, your subs, and your viewership. I appreciate you all very, 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 very much. And I'll see you next time. Peace out. Flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan.
to protect your soul.
Ugh. Too many weaknesses. 218 Tsum, we only got 3,000 base coin. Just not that good, man. Not that good, but still super fun to play. You know, don't get me wrong. What did we end up with? Yeah, we didn't get much of a booster either, but you know, 7 million score, not too bad, not too bad. It just could have been so much better. Just a few small tweaks. You would have been on par with Brave Mickey, in my opinion, if not better. So, there you have it. Alright, peace out, everybody.